Okay, so we're on a roll. This will be third certification we're trying to take in a row. I haven't done any additional training for this night rating, and I haven't taken it before. Let's pay for the exam and see what happens. Night currency is an essential certification that pilots need to acquire if they want to carry passengers after sunset. You'll be tasked performing a standard traffic pattern at Pettina Rassi's airport in Italy, using visual flight rules. As in other exams, you'll be flying the Cessna 172 with the Garmin 1000. Orienting yourself at night while piloting an aircraft takes some getting used to. Knowing how to operate your aircraft lights and how to rely on airport lighting aids is essential if you want to move from and to another aircraft after sundown. There are 4 main categories of aircraft lights: taxi lights, whilst taxiing; landing lights; on-short final; navigation lights, also referred to as positioning lights. These lights are positioned on each wingtip and on the tail of the aircraft. Red facing lights are positioned on the leftmost, and green blah blah blah. Anti-collision lights such as a strobe and beacon lights help people see your aircraft position in real time. The beacon should be turned on at all times. Special attention should be given while using the strobe lights on the ground at night so as not to blind other aircraft. Here's a quick breakdown of the airport landing aids. On taxiways there's a green light. This is the lesson. The lesson is the certification, because they couldn't be bothered building a lesson as far as I can tell. On taxiways, a green light marks the centre line, blue lights mark the taxiway edges. On runways, a row of green lights perpendicular to the beginning of the runway mark the start of the landing threshold. A row of red lights perpendicular to the beginning of the runway mark the end of a threshold. White lights mark the edges of the centre line. Yellow lights on the side of the runway mark a caution zone. Pilots should land or take off before that zone. Keep in mind that most runway lights are two-sided and display a different colour depending on which end of the runway you are seeing the lights from. Also, you will see a distinctive set of 4 red lights. These are your pappies, which you want 2 white and 2 red. I'm not going to go down on that. Best of luck. You'll be able to discover the world after dark in the aircraft in no time. So I wonder if it's going to want me to turn the lights on and off or not, but just to be sure. So they want landing lights on before landing. I think everything else is probably... and maybe the taxi lights. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a... and my computer will let me take a screenshot of that, just so I know what it's going to want to test me on. I'll keep that on another screen. And let's go. So, we'll go and we'll remove all the covers and the chocks, because we can now do that. The servers are working well enough. Get in the door, start our engines. Ooh. So night rating's all about the lights, right? This is basically the big difference between this one and the PPL flight. It's all about making sure you turn on the lights. So you got strobe, nav, taxi, and beacon. You will use the landing light once you get onto the runway. We're going to enable the GPS path just to get us up and onto downwind, and then we'll fly the landing manually. So that's us all set for takeoff. Request our taxi clearance. Take our brakes off.
Cessna, November 5, tree 827 with Mike, request taxi for takeoff, west departure.
Cessna, November 5, tree 827 taxi to, and hold short of runway 07 using taxiway, Mike, Tango cross runway 20 Tango Echo. Contact tower on 119.05 when ready.
Okay, acknowledge taxi clearance. Let's start rolling.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 07 via taxiway Mike Tango cross runway 20 Tango Echo Cessna 827.
The nighttime does look amazing. I think I'm going to do quite a few flights at night once I get further into the career and have my own company set up and things like that. Because the night does look great. There's no real reason to do the night rating in the campaign. It doesn't unlock anything more for you, especially if you've got the instrument rating. However, it is one of the certifications you do have to get if you want to get the achievement for doing all 20 certifications in the game. So that's why we did it. Plus, I want to create a video showing how to do each of the certifications. So that's what we're doing here. So we'll just continue down our taxi. I say everything is basically the same as the PPL, apart from you have to switch the landing lights on as you cross onto the runway, and your taxi lights off, and then vice versa when you come back to landing. Other than that, it's just a circuit, same as you do with the PPL flight. It's a really long taxi. I don't know why the sim insists that for a Cessna you have to backtrack to the beginning of some of these super long runways. I mean, I guess, yes, best practice, runway behind you is useless. However, if my Cessna requires a massive international airport length runway to take off, it's probably overweight, and I probably shouldn't be flying it anyway. So stop at the hold short. We will request our takeoff clearance or report ready for departure.
Raising Tower Cessna November 5. Tree 827 ready at runway 07 west departure.
Now this is the important part. Switch on the landing lights and switch off the taxi
Cessna
lights.
November 5 Tree 827 QNH 101 tree departure to the west approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 07.
Acknowledge takeoff clearance, and we'll go on to runway 7.
Clear for takeoff, runway 07 Cessna 827.
Now my first take on this last night, this whole flight took 35 minutes, I think. It should not take that today because we are getting much better frame rates. Now that I've crossed the runway threshold, technically, we don't have to obey taxi speeds anymore.
Remember that the yellow and red lights mark the end of the runway. You will need to take off before you reach them.
We've taken flaps 10. We've lined up. We're full throttle. Airspeed's alive. .55 rotate. Positive rate of climb. Take the flaps out. Autopilot on. And I didn't give it an altitude to reach. I think it's like 1500. Vertical speed.
Cessna 827 continue for west departure.
Acknowledge the departure.
Raising
Handing
Tower
over
Cessna,
gently
November 5,
to the autopilot.
827 continue for west departure.
I don't want it to be jerky. Okay, so it's 1100. So set 1100 on the cruise control. I say we're only using autopilot to get us to downwind, and then we will fly base and final ourselves. And the reason for that is, again, to get the A rating, to get the best points, you have to follow almost exactly what the GPS plan is. And the only way really to do that is to have the autopilot fly it for you. So now we have to maintain 1100, and again you want to maintain that altitude all the way around. Autopilot's the safest and easiest way to do it. Right, this is we're going for A rating, right? Not to pass, but we're going for A rating, so everything has to be as good as possible. If you look out to the left and just look at how beautiful those night lights look over the runways in the airport. We'll power back a bit, we don't have to be going so fast, now we're not on the climb, so 2300, 2400, something like that, it's a good power setting. Announce our landing.
Razy Tower Cessna, November 5, tree 827, 1,100 feet to land.
So we're still leaving the autopilot in.
Cessna November 5 tree 827 Razy Tower. QNH 101 tree enter left downwind runway 07.
Acknowledge the entry pattern. Okay, now we're going to turn off the autopilot, pull the power back, and now we are flying the base and the final. So make your turns no more than 30 degrees on each turn. And then we are aiming for 65 knots on final with the flaps fully in. So
Cessna 827 acknowledge last
take my
transmission.
first... Oh,
Cleared to land runway 07 Cessna 827.
I was too busy talking, I don't think I paid attention to that. Take the second stage of flaps in now, my throttle is all the way back. I'll take the third stage of flaps in now. Start to flare. Nice. We'll let it roll because we're quite a bit of distance up the runway to get to.
Next taxiway.
I say there's no speed limits on the runway, so you can taxi much faster. Start slowing it down now. Trying to do too many things. I've taken the flaps out.
Cessna 827 exit runway when able.
I was going a little bit fast there, but it should be fine.
Cessna 827 contact ground on 121.625.
Going to 121.625 Cessna.
And we'll slowly taxi over to the hold short. Be very careful because the hold shorts are over after the hold shorts, and so you can get points taken off because it will think that you have gone into the taxiway without clearance. So you have to kind of edge until it will accept that you're in the hold short, and hope that it doesn't penalise you for switching the lights, landing light off, taxi light on, requesting my taxi clearance, and just hope that it doesn't penalise you saying that you entered the taxiway without permission. But that's a bug in the sim right now, that the hold short is on the wrong side of the hold short when you land. Acknowledge my taxi clearance, and now
taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway. Charlie Mike
let's go and
Cessna
park.
827.
How are we looking at? 13 minutes? Yeah, we'll be done before 18 minutes, probably less. Another 2 minutes just to get to the parking stand. And then we'll obviously park and shut down. Parking brake and engine shut down.
You've clearly shown that you have what it takes to fly at night. Congratulations on passing your night currency.
And there you have it. Take a screenshot for the thumbnail. 100% traffic pattern altitude, 94% pattern path, 100% taxi path, 100% plane handling, everything went perfectly. And that is how you do the night currency. Like and subscribe.